Welcome to Screen Riot. This week's movie is Breaking Away, a sports film from 1979. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on HBO Max or to rent on all the major streaming services. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm one of your hosts, Justin. Alongside me are Eddie, Kyle, and John. And like Eddie said at the beginning, we're taking a look at Breaking Away, which is a film from 1979 that he got to choose for sports film. It's rated PG. It's 1 hour and 41 minutes long, and it was directed by Peter Yates. Eddie, this was your movie, so why don't you go ahead and regale us with a quick synopsis of what this
Refund.
Movie is about.
Refund. Don't have a heart attack, Eddie. Don't have a heart attack.
Refund. What was the question? I'm sorry.
I was saying, give us a quick synopsis of what the movie is about.
The movie's about a guy named Dave and his three friends who are out of high school. They're in that golden age between high school and what would be college or becoming an adult. They're trying to figure out what to do with their life. Dave is somewhat crazy. He basically in a previous bicycle race that we don't see in the movie, he won a Massey bicycle, and in winning that bicycle, which is Massey's an Italian bicycle brand, he decides that he's Italian now, so he goes around speaking with an Italian accent and singing opera, etc., etc. And yeah, it's coming of age story that kind of culminates in good friends realizing that hey, they can't stay kids forever, and at some point they got to grow up.
It's interesting that you say that it's like a coming of age movie because Kyle and John were talking earlier this morning about this movie, and we all three said that it sounded like it reminded us of
Without Limits.
Without Limits, yes. Thank you, Kyle. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
and oh my God.
Stand by Me. Stand by Me and Without Limits had a baby and it was breaking away.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
And we throw a little bit of The Outsiders in there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The Outsiders too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I could see that. I mean, especially with the challenges coming from the outside. I mean, from the college kids and stuff. I mean, I could definitely agree with you guys on the coming of age stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, this movie's kind of a weak sports film. It's not the most like sporty sports film ever.
Yes.
But the coming of age piece is very, very heavy in it. So yeah, I could absolutely see the Stand By Me spot, especially with the dead body that shows up in the third act of this movie.
Well, I mean,
What?
No, go ahead.
Well, Without Limits, remember,
Kiefer Sutherland comes in with a gun and like,
I just wanted to make sure I wanted to make sure Kyle watched it. I'm like, dead body.
Did I watch the wrong movie? I was like, man, at the end of this movie, I was thinking, man, good job, Eddie. You didn't have this is a PG movie. It was clean, like no hard scenes to watch, and then you come out and it's like, oh yeah, the dead body is the third scene. I'm like, wait, what?
And I was
wait for
watching
Breaking Away too, the bondage bondage.
Oh, God.
sequel.
Yeah,
And it's literally trying to break away.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, Kyle. I was like, this doesn't seem like a normal Eddie pick, and then I saw the chick on the scooter, and I'm like, there it is. This
is where it gets weird. No.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Refund that too.
Well, no, what I was saying though, the Without Limits part, like even the filmmaking, like the arc of the story is the same, and it's even got where Without Limits we see the whole race at the end, right? Well, here we see the whole race practically unfold in front of our eyes on this movie too.
Yeah, the little 500.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I like character dramas like this, and that's the one thing that I think this movie does really, really well is it develops its main character obviously very, very well, but all of the characters that are in the movie all have a story that little bits and pieces like Jackie Earle Haley, the little guy, I can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Moocher. Bad News Bear.
Moocher, thank you.
Bad News Bear guy.
Yep. He we know a lot about him without them ever having to say any of the things about him. Do you know what I mean? Like we know he doesn't like being made fun of for his size at all. He wants like a normal life. He wants to be an adult. He wants to, get married and all those kinds of things. And he's being held back by Dennis Quaid's character, Mike.
And his parents aren't in his life.
his parents really aren't in his life. That yeah, exactly. Like we know all of that without anybody being like, and then there was Moocher, and Moocher was like we don't
like
have
narration.
that. That's the shit that it drives me insane.
Here's Moocher,
and then there was Moocher. He was a tough, scrappy little guy. Like we don't need that.
You're probably wondering how I got in this position.
Yeah,
exactly.
But going off what you said there, Eddie. I don't know when this review's coming out, but we just recently reviewed CB4. And one of our complaints about that movie was that there was a bunch of different storylines going on that never really wrapped up because they tried to do too much stuff.
Yes.
The people who made that movie, CB4, should have watched this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of storylines, there's a bunch of characters who each have their own battle they're dealing with. Even though they're not to the forefront and they're not fully explained, they're still wrapped up by the end of the film.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of completeness.
Well, and the subplots don't become, they aren't so major within the film that they become the plot. Like there's a very clear plot. And then
they never get too deep in the subplots.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Well, the only subplot that I remember them not finishing, I guess, is the Bad News Bears kid when him
Moocher
and his wife, his newly married wife. Like, what happens after that? Does she move away? Because the whole beginning of the movie, she's talking to him about, I'm going to move, but he doesn't want her to. I'm assuming they get married.
I thought she was there at the race at the very end.
She was.
Was she? Yeah, she was like
race,
in the stands, and she was like kind of reaching down and giving people water and stuff.
Oh, that was her. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she they're buying that house that's like near where, like, what was it, 5 blocks away or whatever from where they were at, 2 blocks away from where they were at whenever she visits him in his parents' house that's supposed to be sold.
Right.
They bought that house, like they're buying that house or rent, get whatever. And after they got married, like that storyline, that whatever is it was kind of quick. Sybil is Syphilis. What's his name? Syphilis. Sybil, right?
Cyril.
Thank you.
Daniel Stern.
Yeah, his character,
the wet bandit.
Yeah, his character arc is the one that I don't think gets wrapped up quite as well. And Mike, to be honest, Mike, we assume he fucking got the message and grows up, but we don't really know.
I think at the very end, when everything is won, the race is won and everything, and everybody's like, that's, I think, when everybody realizes that this is it, this is the top, and we've done it, we've made a name for ourselves, now we can actually move on. Because that was Mike's big deal in this movie was, these athletes, they're going to be young the whole, like, every year they're going to be young. It's going to be new kids, all that kind of stuff. They're going to make a name for themselves. But here we are, just the cutters, and we're not going to be anybody. And then the very end, when they win this race, now they're somebody. Yeah. That now they're actually proud to be called the cutters. And
well, Mike's kind of weird though, because he doesn't really want to grow up. Right. So I mean, Mike's kind of a tragic character to me, because when you look at what he's fighting against, like his fight with the college kids and all that is his fight against feeling poor, is his fight against feeling old, his fight against feeling left out, not being part of the crowd,
fighting against the man.
Well, I mean, to some extent, but I mean, it's really weird. Like when you look at like everybody else, like you got Dave is sort of what's the word? He's not oblivious. He's almost like in his own little world.
He's like, he's sheltered. He's kind of sheltered in a way too.
A little bit, but I think he's delusional. Like he thinks that, he's going to be a world champion, bike rider here anytime, right? It's just going to happen anytime now. That should happen. In his mind, he's fucking Italian. Like he's renamed his cat Fellini because that's what Italians do. Like he's just nuts. Si parla del tempo.
Today, there you are, Fellini. Come stai,
It's my cat. Cat's name is Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Exactly. Your name is Jack.
Jack, damn it.
Oh, get off the table, Fellini.
And that's my cat. His name is Jake, not Fellini. I won't have any Eenie in this house. Your name is Jake, you understand?
Mike is the same level of delusional, but just about a different topic, right? Like Cyril, if you listen to Cyril, whenever they were, whenever David's riding along next to Cyril and Cyril's doing the jogging, and then later on, Mike's, there's these conversations that happen with Cyril. Cyril's actually like the most brilliant guy in the whole fucking group, and really is kind of like, to me, a very, very sad character. Like after the race, like everyone's giving hugs, and even Mike's getting hugs from his brother and shit. Yeah. Cyril has nobody. There's nobody there. It's very strange. He's the
which is why he turned to the life of crime that he did.
You did it again, didn't you? You left the water running, didn't you? What's wrong with you? Why do you do that? I told you not to do it.
Harry, it's our calling card.
Calling card.
All the great ones leave their mark. We're the wet bandits.
John, that's actually brilliant, by the way. Breaking Away is the prequel to Home Alone. That's fucking brilliant.
That's right. It just took him a few years, but you know what? He grew up to be a bandit, a wet bandit.
WETBA.
Shut up, Marv. If at some point he had wrapped his hands in duct tape, I'd be like, oh,
that would have been great.
You know where this goes. But
well, he did wrap Dave's shoes feet to the bike.
Oh, that's a good point. He tapes
that's
them
true.
up. Maybe that's where
that
he
was
learned
practice.
It. This is sticky. But Mike is the second, again, to me anyway, the second most like sad character from the movie, because he just doesn't, even towards the end of the movie. I mean, like you're saying, with him being obsessed with this idea of being young and all that. It's not something you can ever do, right? So the only way that he can keep that feeling would be to consistently continue, I should say, in these like competitive outings with the college kids. That's probably not going to happen. So what the fuck? Like you got to grow up, you know?
He peaked in high school. He was the quarterback.
Yeah.
That was his peak, and he can't believe that he peaked. And he's more mad at himself, I think. Than anything. He's like, because he doesn't know how to get out of that rut. Mm-hmm. And obviously him and his dad don't get along that well.
Well, and the bald guy is his brother.
Yeah.
That's his brother, the cop, the security guard.
Oh, that was the cop? Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought that was his dad.
Oh, yeah, that's his brother. Yeah, his brother's only a few years older than him, and his brother's like a security guard, balding and fat, and that's what Mike sees as his future.
I thought that guy was a cop.
I don't think so. I think he's a security guard for the college, because he seems to show up at the college like every 5 seconds.
Maybe he pulls in campus police or something.
Maybe he threatened to take his car away.
Yeah, but that's just because he's his brother.
Yeah,
I mean, he can take his.
And speaking of that car, looked like a hunk of junk, right?
Yeah,
that was a 1970 Buick Skylark.
Yeah,
and this movie was filmed in '78. They did not take care of that Skylark.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I mean, that thing looked horrible.
It didn't look great, that's for sure.
It's what you get for being a cutter.
Well, you're not a cutter. I'm a cutter. Like
I'm a cutter.
That line, by the way, that conversation with his dad, I was so jealous as a kid watching that line, watching that little scene. I mean, because his dad is doing everything he can to tell him, like, you're hung up in delusion. Like, you just, are you scared? You don't want to go to college. Are you scared? Well, yeah, maybe I am scared, and he's like, I'll just stay around here. I'll always just be a cutter. And he was like, you're not a fucking cutter. You've never been a stone cutter. You're the son of a stone cutter, which means I've tried to give you a good life. Go to school, go do something with your life. Like, he's doing everything he can to tell him, that he's wasting his life, and Dave just can't hear it. You know what I mean? He can't hear it.
That father-son moment was really good at night when they're walking along the college campus and everything, looking at all the stones.
Don't want to go to college, Dad. To hell with them. I'm proud of being a cutter.
You're not a cutter. I'm a cutter. What, are you afraid?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah, I built this building.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's pretty wild. The one scene that I did not understand that was there was when Ray, the dad, goes back to his old job and starts cutting stone.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it seemed out of place.
I honestly thought that he was going to die.
So did I. Yeah.
Because it looks, it's almost framed and narrated in a way that it's like, oh, how hard can this be? This is, back in my day, I did this blindfolded, and he just slips up, OSHA comes in or something like that, and he slips and falls and busts his head open or something.
Jesus,
I don't know. I'm just thinking, where is Eddie's movie going?
You're like, it's an Eddie movie. It's an Eddie movie. Someone's got to die.
Somebody's got to die, right?
When he's just taking the left-hand turn to Weirdville.
So that scene, to me anyway, what I think that scene's about is his dad. His dad owns his own business, right?
Yeah.
He's basically, I mean, I hate to say a failing car salesman, but he's kind of a shitty car salesman.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
So.
And I think he longs for the days when he was a cutter, like when all the other factories were open. Like he says, Cyril's dad and I used to work there. All of our dad, all of the dads used to work there. And then slowly, one by one, all of these factories, all these stone factories have closed and have only left a few open. And all of them lost their jobs. They were all laid off. That's why this area is basically depressed and there's no fucking jobs. Like there's very few jobs for everybody to get. So I think he went there kind of in in the same sense, like what Mike would be feeling, of trying to get back a feeling of whenever you kind of own the world. You know what I mean? When you actually made a good living, you knew every week you were going to take home pay and be able to take care of your family, etc. I think that's what the scene was supposed to be about.
Yeah, because he was, after that, when during the the scene with him and Dave.
Yeah.
He was saying, I was young, I was skinny, I was strong.
Yeah.
He was just like, son, I know where you're at. I know what you're feeling. You need to get out of it.
Yeah.
And realize that I've been there, done that. Listen to me.
Well, he's also saying like, this is the best years of your life and you're wasting it in a fucking delusion that you're Italian. Like you're not Italian.
And I love how they actually approach that too. When the breaking moment is when he actually was racing against the Italians and the Italians were like, screw you. And we're here to win no matter what. And, screw off. And when they actually like just destroyed him, and mentally and physically, because God, that bike wreck was horrendous.
Bravo, che bella.
And I was heartbroken.
When he came home and started crying, I'm like, damn,
Daddy.
Oh my God. That's like, put out the feels, dude.
Yeah.
And he's no longer
I was heartbroken.
I'm all English.
I'm like, I tried to put myself into his shoes. I was like, okay, what if, that would be like, and you guys know me best. Like, that would be like Metallica, me meeting Metallica for the first time and them kicking me in the hoosits.
Well, it'd be like,
hey, and just kick me in the nuts.
When it'd be like you meeting Metallica.
Can I get a selfie?
It'd be like you meeting Metallica and they invite you back to the studio, and then in the studio they go, oh, by the way, this is the Metallica Machine 5000. It actually writes all of our songs. All we have to do is like plug in a code, and then we say, like we want this song to be number 2, and it literally pops out a song for us. Because
that would be terrible.
In his mind, like the peak of bicycle racing was to be an Italian cyclist, and these guys fucking cheated and took the race from him, by cheating, and just gutted him, So in his mind, he had something to look forward to grow up to be the best eventually. And well, what am I going to be if I can't be an Italian racer? I guess I'll just be Dave. I'll just be Dave, who lives here in Bloomington and does nothing with my life, like all the rest of us who live here. And his dad's like, you don't fucking have to do that, man. Like you can do whatever you want to do. Go to college. When Cyril and him both took the test, and that was the other thing about Cyril, by the way, I forgot that part. Cyril not passing the college test made me feel so bad for Cyril. I'm like, Christ, what is he going to do with his life? Turn to crime. That makes sense. John finished the sentence.
Turn to crime.
You know what I mean?
Because he's not a very smart.
He's not a very smart burglar.
No, but what's funny is he's one of the smarter people in this movie too. It's kind of weird. Yeah,
he has a lot of philosophical moments of just saying random shit.
I think you're just afraid of those college guys.
Oh, and you're not, right, Mike?
The only thing I'm afraid of is wasting the rest of my life with you guys.
I thought that was the whole plan. That we were going to waste the rest of our lives together.
Like just deadpan, just.
Yeah.
And that we're all supposed to be doing, just waste the rest of our lives together. Like
that's fun.
Yeah.
The one scene where he meets Dave finds his love interest. Right.
Yeah. Which
the
one?
First one.
No, the first
one. Love
yeah.
interest.
Okay.
Yeah. The one that he thinks is like the one.
The one he's willing to lie to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the moment, what I was gonna say was that opening scene when she runs off or she scooters off and he bikes her down and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
That soundtrack. I know it's like some Italian like classical music, but it almost reminded me of Last Crusade, John Williams, because it had that like. Okay, where is this Indiana Jones all of a sudden? Like we're going on an adventure,
Yeah,
to go and find this girl.
Oh, that was a thing. It was the adventure scene,
Yeah.
That scene and the one where he's riding through the woods and the music is like, like, oh, it's a serene day. Pop tire. Like I was like, oh shit. Like yeah.
Well, and I thought that was alluding. I thought the pop tire was going to happen again when he was drafting behind the semi truck.
Oh, the truck. Yeah.
The semi truck, and he's going like 50 and 60, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna wreck and he's gonna hurt himself. And this is where this Eddie movie comes into. It comes full circle.
Interesting part about that, by the way, the stunt rider, the bicyclist who was the stunt rider, actually got that bike up to like 55, 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah, because it's like they had to have been going somewhat downhill, also drafting. Because
I don't know.
I'm like, what the. This is crazy how he got that fast.
Yeah, all I know is that because I forget where I saw it. I used to have this movie on DVD, and I'm guessing it was on the special commentary or whatever.
Okay.
The stunt rider actually got it up to like 55 miles an hour somehow. So I can't imagine.
Fast.
Yeah, I
can't
imagine
fast on a bike, especially with super thin tires on like that. Like
Yeah.
I steer clear from those type of bikes. I'm like, it's like biking on a skate, like an ice skate.
Well, you want another?
There's nothing.
You want another interesting trivia piece about the bike in particular?
Sure.
So there were 2 bikes made that were ordered for this movie, and they were both ordered from Massey, right? MASI. Well, Massey is an Italian bike company. However, in like 1972, I think, Massey, the original designer, came to America and actually tried to start up an American production factory, I should say, here in like California. And in 1975, the Italian guys all basically left, but the American guys stayed on and kept trying to make the bikes. Well, in 78, when these bikes were ordered, they were ordered from the American company. So even though Dave is won a Massey he thinks is this Italian bike and all that, it was actually made in California.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, so Italian engineered.
It was Italian engineered. Yeah. And
Italian design.
I think it was like 81 that Massey ended up going back to Italy completely. Like the American production shut down. But I just thought that was kind of funny that the bikes weren't actually Italian. I thought that was kind of interesting. So,
well, that quarry was absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, but I did read somewhere that it is in Bloomington, Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was a very popular spot until a lot of people started dying there because they were, hey, you know what? Let's go dive into the quarry. And
it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, they ended up filling it in February of 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's sad.
Recent, huh?
Well,
yeah, which is crazy.
And it's a shame too, because I mean, I remember telling you guys earlier that I would swim there every day if I had access to it.
Yeah,
it was freaking awesome.
I mean, those
were
cool looking. Those were awesome.
But that particular quarry also the Empire State Building. That's where the stone came from.
No shit.
The Empire State Building.
That's pretty cool.
Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That little 500 race that's in it is a real race. They actually have been doing it, I think, for like 70 years. So I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in the movie that I found interesting. So
the guy who wrote the script, Steve Tesh, T-E-S-I-C-H, I believe, Tessick. He actually based the story off of a real guy leading the team to win the little 500.
Oh, that's cool.
So I thought it was pretty cool. And we've talked this whole movie and everything that we've talked about comes back to the script. And this movie won the 1980 Oscar for screenwriting.
Oh, did it really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was actually gonna before I even looked that stuff up, I was like, you know what's really good about this movie is the writing. And
that is really good.
It did win for best screenplay. One more little thing about that, John, the guy that you're talking about. What was his? The real guy was named David K. Blass or something. Blass, whatever. He was the announcer in the movie during the 500. He was having a little cameo.
Oh, okay,
cool.
nice.
Yeah, so little thumbs up. Thanks for letting us use your life.
What was the alcohol? It was a vermouth. It was an Italian vermouth that it was everywhere, and like the Italian team was sponsored by it. The truck had it.
Cinzone or something like that.
Yes,
yeah.
Did you see at the end of the credits that they actually sponsored some of this movie? Yeah, so they actually gave money to advertise in this, and I'm sure Marlboro did as well, because
apparently in the Little 500 they get sponsors for all the teams, right? All the teams come from the college, but they get sponsors, and
so it's like a little league,
kind of. Yeah, the Cinzona team or whatever is one of the, like, every year since the beginning, I guess they've sponsored a team. Like they've always been there. It's kind of, I don't know. There's cool. There's a lot of really cool little pieces pulled into it. Let me ask you guys a meta question about it. What did you guys think about, like, the cinematography?
It was fine. There were some interesting things in it, but I thought it was kind of it was adequate. I don't.
It was better than most late 1970 or early 1980 films that I've seen.
Yeah.
It reminded me of an 80s film.
Yeah. It reminded me
of
that
feel to it.
It reminds me of the 80s too, because they weren't afraid to do a wide shot, and at the same time they weren't crowding the shot either, and it didn't feel static. Like I never feel like there's never a shot where it feels like everything is just kind of like, okay, camera's here, now act. Where a lot of the late 70s, mid 70s movies feel that way. It just doesn't do that. Even that scene we're talking about with the dad and Dave walking through the college, it's like on a dolly, like it's moving with them for some of the shot. You know what I mean? And that's I don't know. Just they did a lot of stuff like that I really like. I really like this movie. I mean, I've seen it a shit ton, but I like the movie.
I like the writing. I like the acting of the main kid. What's his name? Christopher something.
Christopher Robin. I don't know.
Dennis Christopher.
Dennis Christopher. There you go. Which is weird because I typically don't like people with two first names. So
everybody cheats. I just didn't know.
Well, now you know.
What always struck, to be honest with you, what really got me about this movie was Dennis Quaid, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and how rock hard abs he had.
Oh, definitely.
God, he was Jesus ripped in this
he
thing.
was Jesus ripped.
Yeah. That used to do it for me all the time. No, when I was a kid, Inner Space, right, with Martin Short. Do you guys remember that movie?
Yeah.
Was like one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. Like up until I was probably 10, like that was one of my number one movies. And
then the Skin I Live In became.
Yeah, it was a very natural transition, right, from an invasion of body to an invasion of body. Anyhow, so with Breaking Away, I mean, having Dennis Quaid in it, I don't know, it was a natural transition for me, I guess, in some ways.
So would you say like Dennis Quaid is probably one of your top actors?
No, when I was a kid, I liked him a lot. I wouldn't say he's a great actor now. I mean, I think he does.
I thought he was fine in this.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate him. I don't hate him. He's not. It's the same way I feel about Kurt Russell. Like, I don't hate them in any role. I just don't necessarily be like, oh, that's got Kurt Russell. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Like, I don't ever feel that way about any movie. Every actor's got shit movies.
Well,
I think when Dennis Quaid is allowed to act and not be directed as much, I think his performances turn out better.
I could see that. Yeah. I just can't. I mean, I don't know. To me, him singing, drinking inside of Martin Short while Martin Short drinks on the outside is just one of my favorite scenes of all time. As they do,
you could just reach out the spaceship and with the glass.
As they sing Sam Cooke's "Twisting the Night Away." You know what I mean, with each other.
Oh my god,
it's a great scene. Anyhow, yeah. So you guys feel pretty good about this? We want to wrap it up?
I mean, yeah, it's I think it was a decent movie. It's I enjoyed watching it. It was interesting that by the time that this gets posted, it'll be old news. But we're recording this just basically a day after or 2 days after that the whole Oscar Will Smith thing happened. And when I watched this, it was the one day after. She slaps the hell out of him in this movie. and all I could think of was, oh, that was a Will Smith slap. Struck.
Well,
she
that
slapped
was
the
a
Italian out of him.
She really slapped him too.
Oh,
that wasn't a fake slap, and they did that take 6 times.
Ooh, really?
Ouch.
Yeah, so he got smacked really good 6 times.
I'm sure the first time, she was a little hesitant, as anybody does. It's just like, oh, I really don't want to hurt you type thing. But I'm sure Dennis was like, screw it, go for it, just slap the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve it because I lied to you, being a different person.
Not even a different person.
That was kind of a tell, like a very easy plot to discover or to figure out. It's like, okay, you can't actually pretend to be Italian the whole time. It's got to come out that you're this random bloke from Indiana.
Yeah. What was interesting though about that is, unlike a lot of movies that do that, they didn't end up together at the end.
Right.
Yeah, which
what
I actually
surprised
liked.
Yeah, me too.
I actually liked that though.
Yeah, she kind of gives him a pass. I mean, she does come and kind of like, you're going places, that kind of stuff. Like she sort of gives him a pass, but at the same time, they don't end up together.
But she's still scorned about it. Yeah, I mean, which is real. It would make sense. I was just gonna say, I don't like it when movies have that happy ending like that, especially when one of the two characters does something really dickish like that to the other.
Yeah, something like totally egregious, and the person's like, well, relationships are built on weird ground. You're like, well, lying, just straight lying who you are for dates. Overboard is kind of an example of that. Since we're talking about Kurt Russell briefly, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, I'm going to steal your life from you because you have amnesia. I love you.
It's just a prank, bro.
It's just a strange. It's such a strange premise.
But I actually really did enjoy the ending when he ran into that French girl.
Yeah,
and he was like, oh well, screw the Italians. What about the French?
Yeah, because of the Tour de France. Yeah. See, what I like about that is his dad. His dad riding off of the. So so that one scene, by the way, did you guys notice how much it changed at the car dealership?
Yes.
Right.
Everything was lighter, and brighter.
Well, they had a brand new sign. Right. They had a brand new sign. He had more workers on the lot. His wife was working there now, so she wasn't just inside the house the entire time. We never see her outside the house up until the race.
The race,
right? And then once the race happens, now at the end, we're also seeing her outside the house. So her character arc is she's getting a new lease on life. She's having another baby. I have no clue what fucking age they're supposed to be, but she's having another baby.
Besides, there might be another metabolism to feed around here.
You mean we might be a father?
No, I might be a father, and your mom might be a mother, and you might be a brother. See, that way I keep it all in the family.
Wow. Hey, I didn't think people your age...
The next word may be your last, kid.
That race, that ability for the cutters, the locals, to sort of push back against the onslaught of the rich, entitled college kids. It had been happening for decades. It had been happening forever, right? But everybody just kind of took it. They just took it on the chin. His dad just took pride in, I'm a cutter. It doesn't matter what the college kids are doing. I'm tough and I'm here. And everybody in the town sort of just took it on the chin. When they won that, it gave everybody a chance to kind of come back a little bit. And his dad shows that in the car dealership. And his dad now is riding a fucking bicycle, which I think I was like, that's what a great way to say that he's like embraced a new chapter in his life too. And when they ride by each other.
And he was like, bonjour. And he's just like,
bonjour, papi.
No.
And he's like,
Anquitel pour la doigt. Hi, you big shot. Bonjour, papa.
Not again.
No.
Yeah. It's like the end of a sitcom.
That look.
Yeah, that freeze frame.
Oh no.
Credits.
Not again.
But Eddie, I mean, that's why this movie has this really great writing, is because this one event has this profound effect on all these different people for the positive kind of thing, though.
Yeah.
So let's see how positive our stuff can be. Do you have the budget there, Kyle?
Yeah. So this was actually made for a whopping $2.3 million, which is pretty low.
78 money. Yeah.
Yeah. Gross worldwide 16.4 million. That was what it made. So definitely made its money back, and it did pretty good. Opening weekend, not so much. I mean, it came out July 15th, 1979, and came out of that weekend with $17,700.
Oh,
yeah.
I could see it. I'm sure that after it was nominated for Best Picture,
yeah,
that the sales picked up.
Yeah, because I mean, being July, this is a summer movie, and then the Oscars weren't
Yeah.
until the following year, and then that's probably when it gained traction.
And I don't know when these other movies came out, but I mean, the same year you had Apocalypse Now, you had Kramer versus Kramer, so I mean, you had serious blockbuster hits that it was going up against.
Yeah, this is just a step above a rom-com. I mean, it's not. If you think about if you think about a few choices, and it's a rom-com.
True.
You know what I mean? A few select choices, and it's a rom-com. So I mean, but I do think the writing and stuff elevates it above just a normal rom-com. But it is, it's kind of compared to Apocalypse Now. I mean, it doesn't have the same bite. You know what I mean? By any means.
Well, yeah, it's not a rom-com. Apocalypse Now you can't get that confused.
No, but he loves the smell of napalm in the morning.
That's true. His love affair with napalm.
I will say this though, Apocalypse Now, just to say this real fast, feels very, very like stiff in some parts. Like I've watched the Redux version like 16 times. It's just very, very stiff to me. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a lot of breath. And Marlon Brando, I don't know. I'm not as crazy about his performance as some people are.
You know what's sad though is the writer didn't really go anywhere.
Oh, really?
I mean, he wrote a little bit of the TV series Breaking Away, which is a straight up copy of the movie. He wrote a couple episodes of that, 7 to be exact, and then he wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more from 81 to 85, and that's it. So crazy.
So Eddie, this was your movie, so you get the honors of scoring first, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna surprise everybody with my score on this. Probably, maybe not. I don't know. I can't tell.
It'll be a 2.
No,
it's gonna be a 9.
It's not gonna be a 9.
Oh,
no,
wow.
Let's be honest. 9s don't exist. That's you're just making up numbers now. No, I think you guys. I mean, it sounds like you guys all kind of enjoyed the movie, so I don't think my score is going to really surprise you guys that much. The pieces that I like about the movie. I've been pretty clear about, but I really like, and I've kind of tried to be consistent in this with all the movies I pick, but also all the movies we watch. I really just enjoy, think it's necessary for movies to develop characters, like to show us who they are, to, show, not tell. Like, I don't need to be told by a narrator, and Moocher was this, and Dave, there was old Dave. Yeah, I don't need that. I just don't need somebody talking me through it. I'd much rather see their essence. I'll say it that way. But I also think that the 4 actors that were picked to be the 4 main characters, man, that's a very hard lineup of actors. You know what I mean? Like if you were to be like, oh yeah, it was the beginning movie that Kurt Russell and Dennis Quaid and all these like pretty well-known actors. It was just their first movie. That's a pretty decent lineup to just randomly pick in an audition. You know what I mean? Like, damn, you're lucky that happened to be what your auditions were open to is those actors. So anyway, so in that regard, I think they did well. As kind of goofy as the dad is, I just really like the dad in this movie. I just think he's hard without being like harsh. He's funny without trying to be funny. I just think they do a good job with him. And then the mom has a sadness to her that only a small town housewife could possibly have. The movie October Sky with Jake Gyllenhaal has a similar mom character in that just I just really like that movie as well for the same type of thing.
She was nominated for supporting actress.
Was she? Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. So anyhow, October Sky, by the way, is another great movie if nobody's seen it yet. Anyhow, on that note, for me, this movie is possibly going to be too high, but we'll see. A 7.2.
Okay, a 7.2 for Eddie. Kyle.
We shall see.
Yeah, we've pretty much explained everything that we wanted to explain. I'm just going to straight out give a score. I'm going to give this actually a solid 8.
Okay. An 8 for Kyle. John?
Yeah, I'm right there along with you. I definitely enjoyed the movie. I know earlier today when we were talking amongst ourselves, I said it was okay. But I mean, meaning I liked it, but I don't know if I would watch it again. After this discussion, I think I would watch it again. And quite possibly, what are you up to 400 times now, Eddie? I might not be that many, but I'll definitely watch it a couple more times. That's for sure. So I think
you joke, by the way, just to say it, you joke. I've seen this movie way too many times. I can quote whole lines from it if you'd like. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I think I'm gonna go with a solid 8 as well.
Okay, an 8 for John. So yeah, I think one of my favorite things about this is the writing, and like you said, you kept harking on Eddie was the character development and all that. I really enjoyed that. Like when he felt betrayed from the Italians, man, I felt that. Like, that came across really well to me, and there's not a lot of movies that do that to me. I don't know, maybe I'm psychopathic or not empathetic to people, but whatever. I don't know if I would watch this again, like on my own. I don't know if I would ever go, I'm in a breaking away mood. These kind of inspiring movies don't do that to me. This, by the way, is number 8 on the AFI's top 100 inspiring movies list.
Is it really?
Yeah,
number 8.
Number 8. Yeah, I don't remember 1 through 7, so
damn,
I'd have to look it up. But yeah, number 8. But all these scores are exactly what I was thinking. I'm actually gonna give it a 7.8, I think.
So even on my own movie that I really fucking like, I still managed to get the lowest score.
Well, yeah,
because your rating system's skewed.
Yeah, because your rating system is weird.
No, I'm just a dick. Like, there's a difference. Like, it's not that I'm skewed. It's just
I was just looking at it. Okay, so you rate a 7.2, Eddie?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the same as Tenet and Fury, higher than Quadrophenia.
Yeah, I enjoy it more than Quadrophenia. I would say that that's true.
But lower than Without Limits. So you actually like Without Limits more than this one.
No, you know what's funny is Without Limits has better production to me than this movie does. So that's probably why I'm thinking that, because Without Limits, I actually don't like the movie itself. Like, there's certain parts of the movie that I find to be really slow compared to this movie. This movie, to me, the pacing is dead on.
Yes, I like the pacing of this movie too. Yeah.
I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
So real quick, I've got the AFI list.
Oh yeah.
Starting at number 1, It's a Wonderful Life, To Kill a Mockingbird, Schindler's List, Rocky, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and The Grapes of Wrath.
Okay. We're talking about inspiring movies?
Yeah, that was the list I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, but Grapes of Wrath, what was inspiring? Like where George killed Lenny? Or
no, you're thinking of a Mice and Men.
Oh, I'm thinking of Mice and Men. Fuck me for
Grapes
a second.
of Wrath is when they're in the Dust Bowl and
like,
they have to
where was the inspiring part? Yes. Sorry. Oh, and Schindler's List. Yeah, I know the part where all the Jews were gassed. That's the part.
It's very inspiring.
It's a very strange list. there's some on there, especially if I get the movie straight.
Would you guys like to know what the final score is?
Well,
yes. Sorry, Justin.
I want to say one thing, Justin. The betrayal you're talking about, I think the piece that gets everybody, like, because for me, I know what it is, and I think this is probably what it is. You watch him like beat all those people to get up there to the front of the pack, right? You watch him, like, you've seen him, chasing a truck down the highway. He's putting in the work, and then to have them fucking hit him with a tire pump, right, and take him completely out. Not just take him out of the race.
Where did they get that thing from?
On their bikes, they carried a tire pump.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just thought they were doing like the meme where the guy puts the pipe in his own bicycle wheel.
That's not quite.
Damn Italians.
But to see them betray him like that and take him out like that, it's to your core. You're like, fuck you. Wait a minute, hold on. He's been putting in the work. Damn it, he deserves this. And then they rob him of it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
That was probably my favorite dramatic scene of the whole movie. So that kind of. Yeah. So anyways, huh?
Ciao.
What'd you say?
Refund.
Ciao.
Oh, refund. So Breaking Away from 1979 gets a 7.8.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
So let's break away from Breaking Away.
Oh my
Oh, segues are us.
What a segue.
Jesus.
We could say
A+.
chat.
Oh my
A+, sir.
You know what you say? The paler you are, the better your segues are. So look at these. Look at them go, ladies and gentlemen.
That's true. So that means that all of us are on the board again. So we need to see what category or what genre I should say that we're going. And I think we're only at 4 left.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is our final 4 here. We're on the final 4, kind of like basketball.
Yeah, so we got comedy, western, wild card is still on the table, Eddie, and animation. So, John, you're up and ready to go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh no!
Oh Lord,
no!
Oh no!
Let's see who it is. Let's see who it is.
Okay.
All right.
Wait.
So, if you're new to the podcast, basically what the wild card category means is the 4 hosts. You get to pick any movie from any genre. It doesn't have to be one of the last 4 remaining. So, and it could be a genre that we've already done as well.
Yeah.
So all of us are back on the board. So, John, whenever you're ready.
Right.
Oh no!
Oh,
no.
Oh.
All right, this is rigged. I'm out of here.
Boom shakalaka.
Come on, please be nice. I actually love this type of movie, Eddie. I really like PG movies. Please don't.
Clear, I suckered you in with Breaking Away, and now I'll slaughter you all.
Please don't.
That's what it's gonna be. Okay.
Fun times.
For the wild card, I thought that I would challenge Cool World for the worst movie ever.
Oh God, no!
This movie, from what I've heard, I have never seen it, so that takes a lot already for me to pull a movie I've never seen. It's called Zizix Road.
I think it's pronounced Zizix, but
Zizix Road. Fuck it. ZYZZYX RD. Okay, from 2006. It is not rated. That's how great this is about to be. It's a crime drama thriller, and it's starring Katherine Heigl and Tom Sizemore, which Tom Sizemore is his own level of greatness, quotation marks. The plot summary: state accountant Grant finds himself questioning his sanity after he begins a passionate affair with the enigmatic Marissa in Las Vegas and winds up killing her jealous boyfriend Joey when he attacks them. But is Joey really dead? Question mark. Yeah. So I'm going to go with this in the hopes that Cool World might get bumped from the bottom spot. I'm going to challenge Justin here. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this film is known for being the lowest grossing movie in USA history, grossing only $30.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
I figured wild card. Why the fuck not? That's what I figured, basically.
Just wild card, baby.
That's right. Wild card, bitches.
So I'm assuming this isn't streaming anywhere. So we're gonna have to try to find the DVD for this.
Yep.
Yeah, somewhere.
So
hopefully it's in the bargain bin.
Yeah, if you find this before weekend, let us know where you found it so we can watch Zizix Road, however you pronounce it. But meet us back here next Saturday. We will be reviewing that movie, and hopefully we can dethrone the Cool World King. Who knows?
Never know.
We'll find out. So see you later.
Yeah.
See you
later.